自分が望む結末ではなかったと絶望するのなら、他の世界に退場すればいい。選択肢は無限にあるはずだ。
あなたはこの世界に来て7日間ずっと眠っていたの。ここはクワットラトゥム、聖者の世界ではあるけれど、私たちにとっては死の世界ってことになるみたい。
一度退場すれば元の世界に戻れると思うな。
手がかり見つかるといいね。
おい、どこへ行くんだよ。
Hey everyone, and welcome to the video today. And I'm doing sort of a emergency video here because Kingdom Hearts 4 has now been officially announced, even though Square Enix had announced it in the past. We knew it was in development. However, a brand new trailer is out. Like, it's actually, I can't believe this. I was getting ready today to do a brand new video on either Splatoon or Mario Kart, and then Square Enix and Disney just go and drop this. So at the moment, it's the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts this year, meaning that they are gearing up to get some more announcements. I think they announced 2 new mobile games as well, but I'm not really too fussed about that, because although I'm a massive Kingdom Hearts fan and I really like the sort of overarching story, for me obviously it's the mainline games that really get me invested. And obviously, as we've seen with the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm gonna spoilers by the way, I'm gonna spoil the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 and its DLC. So 3, 2, 1, going into spoilers. So with Kingdom Hearts 3 at the end, Sora and Riku are essentially in Shibuya, and obviously at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3's DLC, Sora fights Yozora at the top of the, I actually don't know the name of it, it's the 105 tower in Tokyo, but Sora is seemingly in Tokyo. He's in downtown Shibuya, and we can see him with a new redhead girl character essentially in Tokyo. They're in essentially our world. I don't know if this is our world or what world this is in particular. The trailer actually does give it a name, but one thing we do know is the Heartless are returning. As you can see, the Heartless have essentially entered, I want to say, the real world. This is the closest thing that we're going to get to it in the Kingdom Hearts universe. And we can see sort of in the gameplay that Sora fighting off using some new, I don't even know if it's flow motion, but he uses some new parkour techniques to jump over a bridge and a swing on a lamppost to attack a giant Heartless boss. And one thing, or two things of note are Sora has a brand new outfit, which is essentially his Kingdom Hearts 3 outfit, but more, I guess, realistic, more sort of real world. Gone are his big clown shoes that he had in the first two games, and I think this looks more like Final Fantasy than it does Kingdom Hearts. I mean, the trailer footage also kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember that extremely early footage of Final Fantasy 15 back in the day, when they revealed that game. I think it was called Final Fantasy Versus 13 or 13 Versus, but it kind of reminds me of that, where again we have to keep our expectations in check. This is a Square Enix game after all. They do like to sort of reveal their games stupidly in advance, so I imagine this game won't come out probably until 2027, 2026, around that time. I'd like to be proven wrong, because I'm it's glad to see that they are doing Kingdom Hearts 4, because I remember Tetsuya Nomura did actually say we are working on the next the big Kingdom Hearts game, because Kingdom Hearts 3 did astronomically well. I mean, for me it was a good game. I really enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 3. Obviously it did have its flaws near the end of the game, but for me I still think it was really good. And the question still remains, obviously we do see Donald and Goofy in the trailer, but the question remains is, will the game be taking place in Square Enix worlds, or will it be taking place in Disney worlds? Obviously, Square Enix do like to use some of their own properties, sometimes with both Final Fantasy and The World Ends With You characters being in Kingdom Hearts beforehand. But for me, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the series going forward, because one hope that I've always wanted is to see Final Fantasy worlds actually in a Kingdom Hearts game. Like maybe we go to Midgar, or any of the older games and things like that. I'd love to go to sort of the lower plates of Midgar with Sora, Donald and Goofy. I think that'd be brilliant. But again, I'd also like to see some Disney worlds that didn't make the cut for Kingdom Hearts 3, either because they came out too close to around development, or they just weren't chosen. For example, I'd love to see Emperor's New Groove, I'd love to see Zootopia, Moana, maybe Raya and the Last Dragon as well. I think would be pretty cool. But another one I guess would be Luca. I'd like to see, I'd love to see Italy in the Kingdom Hearts game. I guess Scala ad Cealum was sort of the closest we ever got to that. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. As I said, this is a Square Enix game, so we do have to temper our expectations. I mean, the gameplay that they did show off in the trailer, again, is also very reminiscent of that reveal trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3, which was almost 10 years ago, which is pretty mental to think about. It was 2013 when that game was announced at E3. But this gameplay does sort of seem a bit unfinished, but it does have sort of a unfinished UI and command deck that is essentially, it looks like it's been pulled straight from Kingdom Hearts 3, which is fine. I'm hoping that they do. I don't mind if they reuse assets from Kingdom Hearts 3, as that game was already pretty gorgeous, and I think gameplay wise is the best in the series by a mile. So I think if they add some of those visual flares, those gameplay elements, it will be brilliant. I mean, as for the story, we do see some stuff with obviously the Master of Masters. We do see two hooded figures looking at Sora whilst he's fighting in Tokyo, and obviously we have the new red-haired character who visits Sora in his apartment. We do also see a look at the chess set that was at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 that obviously Master Xehanort and Thingy are playing on, and it's just going to be very interesting to see where the story goes from here, because as we know, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora is essentially lost due to his sacrifice at the end of that game, saving Kairi. So then Kairi, Riku, Donald, Goofy and all the others are trying to find Sora. So this game for me will be very interesting to see how Sora gets back, and if he gets back, and where he currently is, as everyone thought he was in. I can't remember the actual game. There was a video game in the Toy Story level that had a cutscene that was sort of very reminiscent of Final Fantasy Versus 13 with Yuzora and the other characters, as well as the cutscene at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3's DLC with Yuzora in the car is essentially almost a shot-for-shot remake of the Final Fantasy Versus 13 trailer back in the day. But again, it'll be very interesting to see. My hope is not only do we get to explore I'd love to explore real-world locations. Maybe I know obviously Tokyo's there, but maybe Paris, London, Rome, I don't know, wherever else they could do really. But I'd also love to see, as I said, some more Disney worlds as well as some more Square Enix worlds. Maybe we could be seeing the return of the World Ends With You characters. Nier Automata as well would be great to see in this game. I don't know, I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass from Square Enix here. Maybe Tomb Raider, I doubt that would ever happen, but for me, I'd like them to still focus on Final Fantasy and Disney. Obviously that is at the heart of Kingdom Hearts, pun entirely intended. That is the whole reason this series exists. But I'm very sorry for the fact that this has been very unscripted. As I said, this is just sort of done to get a video out there, but I will be having a proper analysis video probably out in the future, going over some of the story and gameplay elements. But I did just want to get my initial thoughts and reactions to the trailer, as I've only just watched it about 20 minutes ago. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and what do you guys think of the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal trailer? I personally think it was really good. I think the game looks really good, but as I said, this is a Square Enix game. They do like to reveal these stupidly early, so as I said, we probably won't be seeing this game for a long time yet. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next Kingdom Hearts video. Right, bye.